Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Monday, July 11th, 2022. Stand up for your country. So we have a new segment beginning tonight. We'll do it periodically called The Smart Life. The Smart Life. We're also doing it on BillO'Reilly.com. And this segment is designed to give you tips and strategies to make your life better and your family's life better. I mean, that's what it is. A very simple concept. And I'm going to ask you for tips, things that you do in your life that might help other Americans. We're going to set that up at the back of the broadcast and a final thought this evening. But I think it's going to be really a hit and save you a lot of money. So the smart life begins tonight. Now, President Biden is sinking fast. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. There is no question about it. So, on July 8th, President Biden was talking about abortion, reproductive rights, all of that. And he made a pretty significant mistake on the teleprompter. Why am I telling you this? Because everybody makes mistakes on the teleprompter. Now, the teleprompter is a little gadget that goes right in the middle of the television camera. And it's got the words that you're supposed to say. I do not use a teleprompter on this program. Everything I say to you is coming from here, not from the television camera's teleprompter. Now, when I did Fox News, I did use a teleprompter because we had to hit all kinds of commercial breaks at a certain moment. We had to be very precise in our timing, and I used it. So most broadcasters use a teleprompter. Most politicians use a teleprompter now, and a lot of entertainers, singers in particular, with lyrics of songs, they use a teleprompter. Okay? Now, the teleprompter is designed to simply make sure the information you have is put out to the people listening to you in a very sensible way. It's a very simple concept. Now, Joe Biden does not write anything he says. Donald Trump didn't write. Barack Obama didn't write. I don't know about Bill Clinton or W. I don't think W wrote. But all of them edited. So they were handed a speech or remarks, and they went over, and Trump used a magic marker, and they edited stuff that they wanted in and wanted out, and that was put into the teleprompter, okay? Now, Biden doesn't do either of that, okay? Why? I don't know. So he's reading words, what they call in a business, cold. He rehearses the words before he goes on. So he'll go through the teleprompter one or two times, but he doesn't know if the teleprompter goes dark, for example, which happens. He doesn't know what the speech is because he didn't write it, and he can't memorize it. Okay, so that sets up the soundbite I'm going to show you. Again, it happened on July 8th. Go.
One of the most extraordinary parts of the decision, in my view, is the majority writes, and I quote, women, it's a quote now from the majority, women are not without electoral or political power. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so, end of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political, or maybe precise, not and or political power. That's another way of saying that you, the women of America, can determine the outcome of this issue.
Okay, so he says repeat the line. Not supposed to say repeat the line. That was an instruction, okay? So he basically going through this in a way that he's not quite sure how it all comes out. And this is his modus operandi. Now, here's the danger. If the President of the United States doesn't know what message he wants to deliver, other people are messaging him. They're telling him what to say and how to do it. Okay? And that's frightening because the president should be the one making the final calls, and he's not. Now, there are a whole bunch of polls I'm going to give you in a moment that show that Joe Biden has lost the confidence of almost everybody. There isn't anybody paying attention in America that has confidence in this man. It's almost like Boris Johnson. We went over that last week. He had to quit in Britain as prime minister because nobody had any confidence in him. And he wasn't nearly as befuddled as Joe Biden. So people say, well, what are the 25th Amendment? You know, you remove them, you remove them, you remove them. No, because the White House physician is in charge of basically assessing every president's health, including Biden. And here's what he said. Okay, this is Kevin O'Connor on November 19th, 2021. Quote, President Biden remains a healthy, vigorous 78-year-old male who is fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency to include as chief executive, head of state, and commander-in-chief, unquote. Well, that's it. So you can't remove Biden with his physician saying he can do the job. And I expect that Mr. O'Connor, Dr. O'Connor, will continue to do that no matter what happens because he likes his job. Okay. So the same thing happened to Ronald Reagan after he was shot by the assassin, almost died. And that's why I wrote Killing Reagan, for two reasons: to show you that for a while, Ronald Reagan could not govern. He couldn't. And the vice president did not take over. That would be Bush the elder. He didn't take over. All right, for a few minutes he did, but not really. And the 25th Amendment was in play. Now, when I wrote that in Killing Reagan, a lot of people who like Reagan got very upset, but it's absolutely true. But they didn't do it because Reagan had what they call good and bad days. And then, and I use this word miraculously, literally, Reagan made an astounding comeback. Remember, he was shot in the first few weeks of his election in 1980. 1981 he was shot, but in the first few months of his term, he was shot. By the end of his term, he was a little befuddled too because he had oncoming Alzheimer's. But in between, he governed very, very well, this country, in my opinion. So anyway, that's why I wrote that book and to lay it all out. So let's get to the polling. This is a New York Times Siena College poll, 849 registered voters, small sample, but it's fair. Democrat 30, Republican 29, Independent 35. First question, do you think Democratic Party should renominate Joe Biden as the party's candidate for president? 24. Do you think the party should nominate a different candidate? Okay, 26% want Biden nominated again. 26%. That's it. Okay, 64% say it's somebody else. I mean, come on. And now, do you think the United States on the right track or the wrong track? Right track 13, wrong direction 77. So everybody, even the dim people, know what's going on. Do you approve or disapprove of the way Biden's handling his job? Approve 33, all-time low. Net disapprove 60. By party, approve 70 for Democrats, approve 8 for Republicans, approve 26 for independents. But independents have a 68% disapproval rating. That's in. It's over. It's over for Joe Biden. As I told you, I've told you this from, April. He's not coming back. It is an astounding rejection of his presidency right now. Scheduled today, nothing. 5 p.m., he looks at a telescope. He looks at the Webb telescope, which the government spent $10 billion on, and you can see deeper into space. And that's what Biden did today. He looked at a telescope. All right, so with the president having so much trouble, you would assume that the federal agencies would mirror that trouble, and you would be correct. The three major agencies going down the drain are the Department of Transportation, that's Pete Buttigieg. We're going to have an investigation on that tomorrow. We need a little bit more time to put things together here. The Department of Homeland Security, that's Alejandro Mayorkas, that's just totally out of control. That's the border and where people are who don't have U.S. citizenship but were allowed in. all of that. And finally, the Justice Department, this is the most important agency that is troubled. There's Merrick Garland. He's a political player by all accounts now. And we got problems here, problems that affect all of us. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years, interest rates skyrocketing, we all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers, are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. So I asked a guy who knows the Justice Department as well as anybody in this country, Brett Tolman, former U.S. Attorney for Utah, to make some calls over the weekend, investigate what the deuce is going on. And we've got three major things we want to talk about here. The first one is basically the October 6th committee making noise that the information they've compiled, of course unchallenged, will lead to an indictment of Donald Trump for conspiracy or whatever. What's your assessment of that, Brett?
You know, we have been hearing that the committee has been wanting to make a referral to the Department of Justice. I can tell you, Bill, that it is a very short list of instances ever that the Congress has successfully referred anyone for prosecution. Here you have the ultimate challenge of trying to prosecute the president who is alleged at the time he was president to have committed these crimes. There's so many issues and problems with it. I think it's more show than it is anything else, but you have a DOJ that is politically, bent on trying to maintain the same messaging that the executive branch, the White House, is coming up with.
About that. On every issue, Garland echoes Biden. But I have not heard of any FBI agents actively investigating Donald Trump, and I would know because I have access to him, on anything. There haven't been any FBI visits, haven't been any subpoenas for documents, haven't been anything. What does that indicate to you? If the FBI has done nothing, what does that indicate?
Well, first of all, it indicates the challenge that they have to try to investigate a sitting president, these allegations. It's very clear if they were taking them seriously, a grand jury would have been impaneled.
Already.
That would be the only way that...
Right.
What's
Already
that?
A grand jury would be up and running.
That's correct.
Now,
That's correct.
It is possible after the October 6th committee wraps up, whatever dog and pony show they have planned for us in July, because they're not going to extend it into the fall, that the FBI then would take their data and do something. Isn't that possible?
It is possible. I think that they will receive it. I think Chris Wray has a very difficult challenge ahead of him because he's going to have a lot of political pressure to push that investigation forward. Merrick Garland will have considerable political pressure. The problem, though, is that the law and the facts don't support a criminal investigation, and it clearly doesn't. And you're going to hear from individuals that have been in the Department of Justice on both sides of the political aisle indicate as much.
All right. The second troubling issue is basically let me put this. It doesn't seem like the Hunter Biden situation. It's 2 years since the grand jury has been impaneled in Delaware. It doesn't take 2 years to do this kind of investigation. So I'm saying that this is just phony, this whole Hunter Biden thing. How do you see it?
Yeah, the concern I have, Bill, is when you have already put witnesses in front of the grand jury, you're supposed to request that the grand jury, once they've heard from all the witnesses, to vote on whether or not to indict. And they put witnesses many, many months ago in front of the grand jury. So the question really is, do they ever intend to? Because I've never seen it take this long from the time they had witnesses in front of the grand jury to when the prosecutor says, okay, you have the case now, grand jury, now go and vote on whether or not an indictment should come.
Yeah, the prosecutor is a guy named David Weiss, Delaware's U.S. attorney. But this looks phony to me because, as you said, it doesn't take 2 years. It's not that complicated a case. Either Hunter Biden broke international laws or dodged taxes, or he didn't. And 2 years? Now, is it possible that these, because the grand jury members, they have to come, they get paid, by the way. They're regular folks. They're impaneled on a grand jury. 2 years? Yep. Is that possible? Have you ever seen anything like that?
You know, I have not seen anything like that. I will tell you that the Department of Justice policy is that you charge your highest provable offense and you do so as quickly as possible. In this instance,
that would be tax evasion, because
that would be tax evasion, and they could have. That's right. They could have brought that case long ago, and in fact, I would have brought that case in order to get him to cooperate on the other lines of investigation and wrap it all up.
You know, I think this indicates that the Justice Department is corrupt. You know, if you put the October 6th stuff and you put the Hunter Biden stuff on the table, and now the third one, which is the leaker inside the Supreme Court. Again, it doesn't take that long. There's only a few people who had access to Alito's files. Maybe, what, 6? 5? Come on.
The universe, I mean, the leaker is very frustrating because a lot of this is Justice Roberts. If he had referred it to the Department of Justice, they have a politically sensitive prosecution and investigation unit that would have gone to bat immediately and started to seize all computers, hard drives, copy them, copy phone hard drives. They would be able to know instantly who the leaker is, and could have brought that case and really given a lot of transparency.
Roberts didn't make that referral. Instead, the U.S. Marshals were tasked with finding the leaker, and that's who's investigating, the U.S. Marshals. Which seems to me, I don't have any confidence the U.S. Marshals can do this kind of investigation. Do you?
I don't, because they don't have subpoena power. In this instance, you would need a grand jury in order to subpoena the documents or the records. So what it seems as though they're wanting to do is have volunteers come forward to cooperate.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's
right. All right,
that's not going to happen.
Look, I'm not a conspiratorialist. You know that. I knock down those conspiracy theories on a daily basis. But this one, it looks like Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, is running a very corrupt outfit in the Justice Department. Very, very serious situations are either being ignored or we're being misled. The public's being misled, and we never get any updates from anything. But I wouldn't be surprised if Garland does something to Trump, particularly before the November election, the midterm election. See, I think they may be holding back some Trump stuff to try to get the Democrats in a better position in November. Again, it's not a conspiracy. I'm basically doing a speculation based on what we know. Final question for you. Is it really possible the Justice Department could be this corrupt? Is that possible?
Well, look at the double standard, Bill, and contrast. You know, I've been told that part of the reason the Hunter Biden case has not been brought is because of a memo that the Department of Justice has put that said they don't want to influence elections with their prosecutions. And then you're right, we're going to see them do that very same thing when it comes to Trump and the Republicans, because they're concerned about the upcoming election. And,
you think that'll
and so when
happen?
you see a double standard, that's corruption. When you see a double standard in the Department of Justice, that's the definition I think, to the public of what corruption is applying the law in a way that is inconsistent based on the politics.
All right. So you think it's very possible that something could happen in October regarding him in the October 6th committee?
Yeah, I would predict that what they do is an announcement that they are digging into the January 6th recommendations, and that they are going to subpoena documents and witnesses, and they're going to pursue the investigation. And that might be enough for them to do, as much as they can with this election coming up.
All right. Thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. One correction, I kept saying October 6th committee. It's January 6th committee. I'm sorry, I'm like Joe Biden. I need a teleprompter. January 6th, O'Reilly. Sorry for that error. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. I am an AMAC member, and you should be too. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful takes on today's news, and a magazine full of uncensored content that you will not find anywhere else. Most importantly, AMAC is working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms enshrined and secured by our Constitution. AMAC has become one of the most impactful organizations in America because more than just talk, AMAC gets things done. They are pushing back against the efforts to defund our police, weaken the borders, and replace your freedom with government control. But they need your help. Stand with me and more than 2 million patriots and join AMAC today at amac.us. That's AMAC.us. amac.us, and tell them O'Reilly sent you. Okay, final thought of the day, the smart life. So it's really bad in America now. It'll get better, but it's going to be a while, and we're going to be absorbing pain. Money is important. It provides you with security. It provides you with peace of mind. Don't waste money. So I'm going to give you tips under the Smart Life banner to save money. Okay? We'll do it 2 times a week. We'll have a lot of tips on the website. If you have tips, please send them to us and share it with the rest of the world. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com again. Okay? Let us know. We'll post them. Okay, so over the weekend I took the Urchins for breakfast about, quarter of a mile from my house. And they go in and they order $2.50 orange juice. Okay? So little cup, $2.50, Tropicana. I saw them pour it. Not fresh squeeze. Okay. Today I went on the internet and 58 ounces of Tropicana, $3. So my urchins spend $5 on little cups when you could get 58 ounces, and we have it in the refrigerator. We have it. So I looked at him and I go, what are you doing? We have OJ in the refrigerator. What is this? $5 on fire. Then they order their entrees, what they wanted for breakfast, and then they order a side of corned beef hash. Now, the side of corned beef hash in the place is good, but they didn't want to change the menu prices, so they cut the size in half. It's $9. And while you used to get a pretty good portion of corned beef hash, you don't any longer. And they didn't even eat it. They were full from the pancakes and the omelet. I'm sitting there going, all right, let's add it up. $9 and $5 is $14. You just set on fire. And they did. And now, the eye roll. Here's the eye roll. Now, okay, this is what I'm talking about. The Urchins have no blanking clue. They work. They have to in my house. But Dad pays the breakfast tab. But it's that kind of waste. You've got to be thinking about value. You got to be thinking about this. Because the money just flies right out the window for no reason. Got a giant jug of Tropicana. Oh, they have that little cup for $2.50. Now, the only good news is the people who own the restaurant are good people. Okay, and they're struggling too. It's not a big elaborate place, so okay. You know, they got an extra 14. I made a joke out of it, but I still got the eye roll. I got to videotape the eye roll sometime. All right, thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you tomorrow. If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at lonestartransfer.com.